Hey, namaste. I'm Kay. Welcome to Ecstatic Self. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the idea of addiction, and of any kind, right? Like I had somebody message me and ask if I could create a video about cell phone and social media addiction. And I think it's important to talk about this idea of where do addictive tendencies come from? Because from what I've read and researched and reflected on in myself, it's not about like you being broken. It's not about genetic coding. It's not about traumatic experiences. Like, yes, those things all play a part. They do, absolutely. But the biggest reason that I've found and read and discovered in myself that addiction occurs is fundamentally something is not right in your life. Your needs are not getting met. There could be needs for connection, interpersonally, connection with yourself, connection with nature. It could be not processing of tremendous hardships that you've gone through. And it doesn't necessarily need to be like the big things, right? Like losing your animal or losing your friends and family, because of moving across the country. Those can add into the score. So I want to point out that I don't think there's anything inherently wrong or broken with anybody who experiences addictive tendencies. It's actually your mind and body telling you, hey, I'm not okay. Something's not right, and I'm trying to cope. And I'm going to cope in whatever I can, whatever way I can, whether that's food or porn or sex or alcohol or whatever, or social media, is I'm not feeling okay. I need something to help me. So with that in mind, if we approach this idea of I am whole, I am indelibly radiant, I am an expression of the energy of the universe, there's nothing wrong with me. I just need to shift the patterns in which I engage. Now, sometimes if you're dealing with a form of addiction, and I'm going to say that pretty much all of us deal with it in some form in the modern world, because all of us are disconnected from each other, especially in COVID, but in general, we're all disconnected from each other. We're disconnected from meaningful community. We feel alone. Like, I know I live in an apartment building, but the number of friends I have in the apartment building can probably boil down to like 2. We're not part of a tribe in the way that we were born to be, that we evolved to be. So you may need to look at your habits, right? Like a big one for people is social media and cell phone usage. I have recently, with Apple's new update, able to put my little screen time widget up in the corner of the screen to see how much I'm using my phone. And even on days where I'm trying to be conscious, I'm like, that number is way too high. So it may be helpful to structure and say, hey, I'm only going to engage in technology for this amount. Actually, one of my friends in the building, I love her. She purposefully only looks at her cell phone after 7 a.m. and then puts it in the closet after 6 p.m. every day. I'm like, that's amazing. I want to be you. She also only has Netflix for 1 month a year, which is fun. So creating some structures around how you want to engage with the things that you feel yourself being pulled to, that can be really helpful. But I think the deeper thing that we need to look at is, why are you being pulled to these things in the first place? Why do you want to engage so much? Why do you want to overconsume? Why do you want to turn to these tools? Because the tools in themselves, there's nothing wrong with. It's the fact that you're not feeling okay and you need something to help you cope. So, do you need more quality time with friends? Do you need to leave your home and go outside? Do you need to talk to somebody about the grief you've endured in your past? Do you need to work on healing trauma? I'm a huge advocate of reading the book Lost Connections by Johann Hari. He deals it's not a book about addiction, it's actually a book about loneliness and anxiety and depression. But he talks about addiction in there and why so many people can go from having a really healthy relationship with alcohol and then one day become an addict. And he breaks down the reasons and the things that you can do to reconnect. Are you doing work that's meaningful? Do you feel like your voice matters in your career? Do you feel like you're contributing in some way to society? Those things all matter and lead and can be part of addictive tendencies. Because if you're, only showing up for the paycheck and that's the only joy you derive, then you're going to need to cope in some way. So I think it's really important that for ourselves and for other people, we never look at people as being broken. We never look at people as being, irreparably damaged. Instead, we want to see people as the amazing indelible spirits that they are, who are going through some hard times and need some support. And we might not be the people that are there to give that support, but we can still love them and we can still direct them to where they need to be. So whether it's you or somebody else, have patience, have grace with yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. But yeah, thank you for the video suggestion. It's a pleasure to get to talk about this a little bit. If you haven't heard already, my book's coming out in November, Journey to the Ecstatic Self. Please check it out. It's available for pre-order on Amazon. Links below. Yeah, hope you have a good one. Namaste.